Hi there, it's Cydney from Sydney, Australia, and I'm so excited to be sharing a presentation with you on how you can expand your business, bring in an avalanche of new business, bring in a whole bunch of great new clients, and I want to show you how my clients and I have been doing and how you can replicate our actions in your own business, in your own life, and hopefully have similar success. So this is brought to you by the organizers from the Super Achievers Summit. I'm so excited to be a part of this. We're all going to be in Bengaluru, India, and I hope you can join us. But otherwise, just come over to my website, Bestseller Success, and you can get access to more of my information. But right now, let's start this presentation, how to build an avalanche of business. How to create an avalanche of business. I'm your host, Cydney O'Sullivan, 12 times best-selling author. And I want to ask you a question, if I may. What if you could present to a group of just 12 people in your audience and close sales of over $20,000 or over ₹1,000,000? Or speak to a room of 300 people for just 5 minutes and close sales of over $30,000 or ₹1.5 million. Or teach live or online to 20 people and close sales of over $50,000. We're talking over 2 million Indian rupees here. So hopefully I've got your attention and you'd be a little bit interested in knowing what I'm going to share with you. Well, these are just some of the results that my clients and I have been achieving. We're using authority positioning and a powerfully crafted presentation like this one that attracts our ideal qualified business clients. And I want to show you how to become a key authority. I'm going to share with you what I've been learning from working with hundreds of speakers and experts who want to know how some of our clients have built 6 to 7 figure businesses, and it all starts with a book as the foundation. So that's the strategy that I'm going to show you. My goal for you is to show you the insider secrets of how to plan the right marketing, publish the right book, build your authority so you can earn more and work less. And if that sounds exciting, then, woohoo, tell me, say yes, bring it on now. After analyzing some of the most successful book and business launches, then testing and trialing to find out what works and what doesn't work, because who here has done way too much marketing that didn't work? Advertising can be expensive, and doing the wrong kind of marketing, it costs you in time, energy, it sets you back. And we've helped a lot of our clients achieve great success. So I'm going to show you exactly how we've been doing that. And for staying here and coming and joining me on this presentation and staying to the end, my free gift to you is at the end of the presentation, I'm going to give you a copy of my best-selling book, Social Marketing Superstars, which has the top success strategies of 30 social millionaires. So if you just implement, the book is written in a way that it gives you a strategy to implement in your business every day for 30 days, and it'll help you improve your business dramatically. So I'm going to gift you that if you stay to the end. But before we start, let's be clear. I'm not guaranteeing that everyone can earn $100,000 overnight. All I can promise is to give you the exact path to follow. What I'm going to do is give you the exact system that we've used multiple times to achieve success for ourselves and our clients. So here's what you're going to learn today. Why book sales alone is not the best way to make money as an author, and ways to turn your book into a comfortable business, and the system I recommend to focus on first. This is one of the main points that I want to share with you today. Why the right best-selling book is the ultimate shortcut to quickly building your authority, credibility, and as a consequence, your income, especially when you use my system. I'm going to show you the avalanche effect, my secret to creating 5-figure paydays with your expertise. It's duplicatable and it's automatable. So who am I? What makes me the expert? I'll tell you how bestseller success started for me. I was a successful entrepreneur and investor specializing in business and real estate renovations. Well, can you imagine what it would be like to earn over $10 million? I had a net worth of over $10 million, which is around 517 million rupees. And then I lost the bulk of it. In the global economic crisis, I had to do a liquidation because I got overextended, like so many other people who were doing real estate investing at that time. So, can you imagine losing your wealth, your home, your confidence, and a business you loved and believed was your destiny and mission, like I did? Well, that's where I was in 2008, and I want to show you how I turned that all around again. I started buying, renovating, and selling businesses and houses in 1987. Here's one of the businesses, my very first retail business where I signed a lease for the shop, and I turned this big corner shop on a main road, very busy traffic, into a thriving catering business. See that big sign at the top of the shop? That used to say catering in my phone number, and people would hire me to come and cater their weddings and parties. And that was my first very successful business, and I sold that at a profit. And then here's another one that I had in around the late 90s, where I actually bought the whole building, and I renovated the building and turned that into a very successful business. So I started doing this for quite a few years. I started building and renovating houses, businesses, retail shops. I had a successful investing business and a lot of real estate holdings. I was doing well, but here's the thing. I started to feel isolated. All I was ever doing was working, and my friends couldn't really connect with me. They didn't really understand I was just driven by wealth and success. I just wanted to make more and more money. And it was starting to make me feel very isolated. I'm a social person, and I wanted to have more freedom and do more traveling and socialize with people. And I also wanted to create wealth, but in a way that I could help others at the same time. I became very interested in social business, which is where you actually take other people on your success journey with you. By 2003, my marriage had become a victim of my sort of driven power to be successful, and I was divorced, and I was a single mother. I expanded into the stock market and started investing in the stock market, but it wasn't enough. So here I am now with my two beautiful children all grown up, and I felt a pull to help others, and I really wanted to build a business where I could actually take other people on the journey with me, and I didn't have to feel like I was a hermit living in a big mansion, just worrying about losing my fortune all the time. Because that's one of the problems, is when you're constantly working on building wealth and not looking after your health and your relationships, then you start worrying about losing it, because then what will you have, right? So anyway, I decided that I wanted to have a better overall life, and I wanted to build a better, more sustainable business. So I hired some of the best mentors, and they told me to start my positioning myself and building a personal brand as an expert. Because once you've built your position, your platform as it's called, you actually can continue to build wealth on that. It gets easier and easier as you build out your brand. So you start with a book. This is what they told me. So I'm just teaching you a system that's worked for decades. You start out with a book that positions you as an expert. So I spent $60,000 US on trainings, ghostwriters, and mentoring. In fact, I actually spent a lot more than that on mentoring. I spent over $200,000 US on mentoring with some of the top mentors, people who were billionaires and had had great success. So here's some of my darling mentors: Mark Victor Hansen and Jack Canfield, who co-authored the Chicken Soup for the Soul book series that sold over 500 million books. They really know the book business. They've also gone on to have great success with other books and speaking, and ran very, very successful events, and still do today. They told me to get a publishing contract, which I got. I got a publishing contract with a major New York publisher, and they introduced me to a literary agent, and he started saying, hey, let's get your book written. You've got a great story. Let's get your book written and get you on the Oprah show. Well, it was all very exciting, and I couldn't believe how fast it was all happening. But here's the thing. I didn't think I had a great story. I didn't think my story was anything particularly, better than anyone else. You've got to believe in yourself. And sometimes it's really hard for us to believe in ourselves. And this is what I work with my clients on a lot, is helping them step into that next level and that next level. And sometimes you just got to believe in yourself enough to get to that next level, and then it just gets easier over time. Well, I self-sabotaged at that time. I was actually really frightened of going on Oprah, looking like a fool, and I pulled out of doing that book. But luckily, I did go on to achieve success. But in the meantime, I spent a lot. I spent $20,000 on ghostwriters. I spent $10,000 on editing. This is US dollars. I spent $20,000 on a publishing imprint, $5,000 on bestseller campaigns, and $20,000 on websites and branding to support me, because I kept thinking I needed more of this and more of that. And I had money, so I thought, well, maybe somebody else has the solution. So I just kept investing and trying to get this thing. This was all just trying to get my first book out. You can spend a lot of money on your branding and your publishing. And here's the thing. 80% of authors don't finish. A survey in America found that 80% of people actually had a book in them. They believed that they had a story to tell. But 80% of people actually who start the process won't finish, and I was one of them. Many times during the writing of my books, I almost gave up. In fact, I parked two or three books. I got about 3/4 of the way through, good books, and I parked them because of my own fears of not being good enough. All my insecurities and fears of being judged and not good enough as a writer came up, or not experienced enough. I was afraid that I wouldn't be perceived as an expert, or that people would find me lacking in some way. But lucky I didn't quit, because my books became bestsellers, and I've gone on to help hundreds of other experts and ordinary people create a business avalanche and write their books. I call it delivering your magnificent message. I created a program. I recorded a series of interviews with social marketing millionaires and transcribed the interviews into my first published book, Social Marketing Superstars. And that's the one that I'm going to share with you and tell you how to grab a copy of that at the end of this presentation. So I created, from those interviews, I also created a training program, Millionaires Academy. And that started helping me build a big following and a big community, because I started sharing my interviews with all these social millionaires with people who, like me, wanted to learn how to create wealth. So I then wrote my first book on my own. So the first one, I interviewed a whole bunch of millionaires, and it was really, it was My Think and Grow Rich. So that was a whole bunch of, in order to get out of my own way, I interviewed other experts and reported on their success strategies. But then I wrote my own book from start to finish, How to Be Wealthy Now. And this was 108 different ways to create wealth that I had used in my lifetime that I could think of. And then I paid an editor another US $5,000 to edit the book, to go through and check it and make sure that all my English was good enough and add a bit of content, her ideas. And then I paid another marketing company over $5,000 US to promote the book so that I could achieve bestseller status. So I just want to kind of give you an idea of my journey and how much this can cost if you don't know what to do. But I have sorted this out so that you don't have to pay that kind of money anymore to get the results that are way better than the results that I was getting. And it paid off. So for me, even though I invested a lot of money, it actually did turn into a very, very exciting and viable business, where I've been able to parlay that into a good investment, which I want to share with you how you can do the same thing. I started running workshops for other experts who wanted to write their books, and I offered $10,000 mentoring programs, and I earned over $100,000 and helped my first 20 clients write, publish, and promote their books. People like Bernie Griffiths, who was he was actually an international photographer, but he had been very successful, and we helped him develop his photography coaching business. So he went on a national speaking tour, started offering online presentations or webinars doing live workshops and offering people consulting packages where they could have his help growing their photography businesses and their businesses in other aspects. He's a very clever businessman. So he'd been in business for 30 years. He knew a lot. And he was able to start selling between $1,500 and I think he sells $5,000 and $10,000 consulting packages. But the good news was that he earned over $200,000 in new sales and has done so consistently year after year using these strategies that you can do as well. And Mark Robinson, who's another client of mine, he was a financial advisor who started a whole series of books, Winning the Wealth Game, and he now travels around the country running workshops, teaching people how to invest and how to grow their wealth. I then took on more clients and created a $5,000 book launch program and took another 20 clients, and I just focused on helping them market their books. These clients needed a lot more help with their marketing, so I created an online promotions summit, the Expert Success Summit. So I'm just giving you some ideas. I'm not saying you need to do all of this. I'm just saying these are some of the things that I have done that have helped me grow my business and gives you some ideas. So I interviewed 28 of my authors and some celebrities and invited them to participate in a summit, recorded 28 hours of recordings, and then used this to promote all of my authors so they could all take their books to bestsellers at the same time. And as a result of the summit promotions, my personal network exploded. I picked up joint venture partners, so people that I used to really look up to, they now became people who were happy to help me promote my authors and my business. And they started promoting me, and this all seemed to happen overnight. I added 10,000 emails to my mailing list. It was very successful, but it's a lot of work to do a summit. It's not something that I recommend that you need to do as a starter exercise. But the biggest surprise, though, was my income. The success of my books and programs had given me credibility and authority status. It became so much easier to attract elite clients. I was able to double my income, but dramatically reduce my workload. For the first 12 months, trying to build my speaking business, it was really hard. But after I came out with my book, after I positioned myself in the right way and did a lot of things that I'm going to teach you here today, my income started to steadily grow. Amazing growth. And I say this to show you what's possible. What's possible if you position yourself with a book in the right way. And that's what I want to teach you here today. And that's when I realized something my mentors had been right. So even though it took me a couple of years to adjust to what they were teaching me, like they were saying to me, just write a book, get out, speak about your book, start selling online training, start selling CDs, DVDs, take your information and package it in multiple ways. And they were right. The right book with the right marketing equals the proven business growth shortcut. If I was guilty of anything, I massively overcomplicated the process. And I see people doing this all the time. So think about it. What are the most common struggles you face growing your income? What are the struggles we all face as authors, speakers, specialists, consultants, as entrepreneurs, or with online businesses? We struggle getting that initial and critical traction, being able to stand out in our field. There's a sea of competition out there. How do we stand out as a unique thought leader or authority in our field? How do we build trust with our marketplace so that people meet us once and think, wow, this person's an expert. I would like to do business with this person. So how do we shorten those buying negotiation conversations where you introduce yourself through to where you actually become a service provider to that client or a product provider? How do you get the respect or attention that you deserve as an authority? My proven system is not based on a one-time campaign. It's been proven again and again by multiple authors over the years, and it solves all of these problems that we're all having. It's been tested, validated, and optimized with multiple clients in a variety of businesses and markets. And what makes this different? Firstly, I'd like to qualify that this system is really designed for books that show your expertise. So I'm not talking about novels per se. Some of us have had a really amazing experience in our life when we want to write about that experience. And certainly I can help you do that. I do work with clients who've had an extraordinary experience, and we try to do it in a way that we can help them build a speaking business from that. But my focus is not on just writing a book for the sake of writing a book, although it is a fabulous experience and I highly recommend it. It is always great to get your book written and published. As long as it's a good book, I highly recommend it. But this system is specifically around getting your expertise built for you as a personal brand so that you can lay the foundation. It's a foundational tool in a plan to help you grow your business. So if you don't have a genuine solution for people with a problem that they're willing to pay for, it might be a bit more challenging from you, okay? That's just my premise I want to set up. But here's my promise to you. You're going to walk away knowing the secret of how to create a $10,000 plus return from your book, and then how to leverage that success to grow a six-figure, $100,000 or even $1 million business. If you're here to successfully launch a book, you're in the right place. If you want to make more money from your book, you're in the right place. If you want to quit your job, work less, and raise your prices, this is your roadmap. And here's how it works. And it works whether you're a first-time author or you have multiple books. If you're a seasoned pro or you're just getting started, we've helped everyone from unknowns to New York Times bestsellers looking to make more from their books and build their mailing and contact lists. And I know this is exactly how it felt for me. I felt like before my book came out, I was working so hard but not getting anywhere. However, as a best-selling author, when you do it the right way, as a best-selling author, you get expert authority in your industry, floods of followers who become raving fans, almost overnight credibility, media attention promoting you and your book, and most of the time for free, and valuable relationships with top influencers in your niche and in your industry. It sets you apart from the pack, from that sea of competition. This usually takes years to achieve, but with a book, you get it in one strategic marketing play. So now that you understand the power of a book, now it's a matter of using this in a strategic way to get you to your goals faster and get what you really want. It took me years to develop this system. I became obsessed. I invested heavily, as I think you can see. And now you can use my systems and expertise to get fast and effective results. So you can do exactly what I did to get the same results, whether you're an author, professional service provider, or motivational speaker, or a coach or consultant, or you want to be one of these things. In fact, a best-selling book might be the most powerful marketing asset you ever have. However, this isn't going to work as well if you have a book that doesn't align with your marketing and services, or you don't view your book as a long-term growth tool, or you're a fiction author. Some of what I share will still help you, but my system is best suited to those who offer real value solutions, want to create a legacy and impact in the world, and use their book to create a long-term business. Everything I'm about to share is proven and tested numerous times in a variety of niches. It's not some one-time lucky campaign you'll never be able to replicate. I've worked with hundreds of authors. After my book launch, hundreds of authors and entrepreneurs started coming to me for help. I didn't go into this thinking that I was going to be a publisher or a book marketing expert, but I soon saw there was a need in the market for this kind of support. Now I've helped hundreds of authors, big name, people like Alan Pease, who's an international bestseller across the world. He's an Australian author. Brian Tracy, who's an international American author. And Les Brown, who's a legend in the US and also international bestseller. And Australian clients, Peter Johnson, Karen Walsh, and Andrew Church, who are all international consultants and now international bestsellers. And hundreds of other speakers and clients, some of whom you might know, some of whom you might not have heard of, but are all enjoying success in Australia and internationally. So here's just a few of the people that are part of my client portfolio. And here's some of the books that we have helped people publish, some of my books, and some that we've helped others take to bestseller out of hundreds. These people are superstars, but they are always looking for ways to improve their marketing and reach. And today I'll take you behind the scenes of how we created quick 5- and 6-figure paydays for authors like you and me and some of the others I've mentioned. But before I explain the system, and I'm getting there, these days there are a lot of companies making authorship seem like the easy road to fame and fortune. But the reality is that the vast majority of authors will never make real money from their books. I'm talking about freedom money, the kind that puts you in the top income tier and gives you reach and power. For the vast majority of authors, book sales alone are not going to get you to your goals. The real statistics are that the average royalty is $1.12 per book. Most authors will sell less than 3,000 books in their lifetimes. Over 2.2 million books were published last year, according to the UNESCO statistics. And that number is actually going up. So the competition is hard, the earnings are low, and that doesn't sound like a winning formula. But the one I'm going to share with you is a proven system, and I'm going to teach you the winning formula. The big publishers probably won't help you. The average book advance is less than $2,000. Very few books sell more than 3,000 copies. And according to Forbes magazine, around half the books hitting the market are self-published, and few sell more than 250 copies. So why aren't you making as much as you should be? Why do some people get paid tens of thousands to $250,000, in consulting, and others get so much less for their time? Why aren't you making 10 times more than you are? How do so many of our authors earn $10,000, $50,000, $100,000 or more? When you understand the book's primary goal is not to make money from book sales or royalties, it's actually to set up what I call the snowball or avalanche effect. And let me take you through how this system works. And hopefully I'll give you a mind shift. And this is relevant to business, and I'll show you how it relates to other businesses as well. So first of all, you position yourself as a best-selling author. Then you set up a lead capture system. Ideally, you do your best-selling author campaigns when you already have a lead capture system. And you might have seen this in the form of a website opt-in page. So you ask people to come and grab a copy of your book or accept a free copy of your book or whatever. You set up a system where you bring people in and allow them to give you their information. So there's various ways to do this and get different levels of information lead captures. So you might want to get their name, their email, their phone number, and with more sophistication, you can get their credit cards, their mailing addresses, and so on. And then you start to partner this with online presentations where you're adding value and delivering service. So you're now starting to build your relationship with those leads, people that are interested in your topic. You can then add public speaking and get out and speak to people in person, meet people, network. You can then add websites and blogs to this. Start to add that media and your press releases, put some PR in behind what you're doing because you're building your authority and your reach. And then you can add workshops and courses, which are really great monetization strategies, and adding more service and more value to your following and your customers and fans. And then you can start asking them to refer you to others, and you can start asking them to become affiliates because you'll start to notice some strategic alliances. Some people already have your audience and you might want to do things together. So that's how you can start becoming affiliates. Then you can start offering next level or higher level programs or services. This is where you can start to really bring in the top dollar elite programs. And then start systemizing, improving your systems, and scaling, improving and expanding your reach. So this is the avalanche system and how it works and the order. So you can see that there's an entire system that lies behind a strategically planned book. So what is it that you really want? Do you want more customers, more website traffic, more media attention, more speaking opportunities? All of these are possible if you use the book effectively. The right book can be that small snowball that starts the momentum in your business and then makes you unstoppable. And even more exciting, all along the way, it can be automated. And that's my goal for you, is to help make you automated and unstoppable. The avalanche effect is a momentum wave activated when you strategically plan and launch your book. It's the real hidden power of a book for your business. You leverage the authority and credibility your book brings you, and then you capitalize on it. And you can do this at least 36 different ways, from webinars to summits to public speaking and workshops, media, paid advertising, book and media tours, joint ventures and strategic partnerships, even licensing, bulk sales, and international translations. There are a lot of ways to monetize your books, both directly and indirectly, and they're all much more lucrative than royalties and book sales alone, unless you're one of the world's top authors. Obviously, if you're one of the world's top authors, all of this works even better. So my goal is to open up your paradigms, expand your thinking a little bit about what's possible, to think a little more strategically so that the effort you put into writing a report or a book or a business plan can be rewarded better. I strongly suggest you start with just one strategy, even though I can share with you a multitude of ways to use your book to make money. Let me walk you through the best way to make big money as an author entrepreneur, in my opinion, because this one's been proven over and over as a winning formula. And the number one way is turning your book into a saleable program, or turn your existing program into a book and online training. And there are a lot of ways to package and deliver it. This is how you can 10 times or 100 times your results. Why does this work? You can set it up to create continuous residual income and even make money while you're sleeping. Because you create it once and then you can sell it again and again and again. It's 100% scalable with the right systems. You can take on 100 clients or 10,000 clients. It's low cost and it provides high profits. And it's a great reason to get joint venture partners to build your exposure and help you build your client list. And even positions you even more as an authority. So let me just explain to you the ascension model and how this works. It's used in most businesses. It's offering multiple levels of price points with different levels of value. And if you can look at it as a building of relationship, as you build trust and as you get to know what people need, you continue to add more value and they can invest more with your company and get more into partnership with you in a client service provider way. So if we look at it from a website design company's example, they might start off with some how-to trainings. They might do some promotions to teach people how to set up a basic website. Then they might offer some done-with-you training and services where you can actually consult with them, hire them to help you figure out what your website in particular should do, what the functionality of it should be. Then once you start to learn that they understand what they're doing and they know their stuff, you might actually decide to hire them for done-for-you services, which means that you say to them, look, can you just build it? I like what you're saying. You just build it for me. That's going to be a higher level investment. And as you can see on the right side here, usually as you start to add more and more high value, your price goes up, right? You can charge more because you built a relationship with the client. So then you get into the high level consulting, which is where you can start to charge top dollar. This is where you've really built that relationship and expertise, proof that they can see that you know what you're doing, and you can charge them that top dollar because you're able to provide them a great return on their investment. Well, you can do the same with your book and your business. The book is the single best thing to put at the bottom of this ascension pyramid. If people are interested in your books, if they're interested in the topic of your book, well, they're going to be interested in having you help them solve their problems. When they choose your book, you know they're interested in your solution, okay? So this is a really great filtering mechanism. You write a book about a particular topic that's your expertise, that positions you as an expert, and people will be attracted to that book who are interested in hiring you for your expertise. And this is the Ascension model. It's as you increase the value to your clients, you can put your prices up over time and build that relationship. So it's building trust towards higher value offers. If you offered them a free book, would a good percentage of your target market be interested in taking up the offer? It's really that simple. So if you know who your market are and you know what their problems are and you offer them a free book, a large percentage of them are very likely to say yes and give you their contact information in exchange for the value that you're giving them. And in the process, you establish trust, give massive value, and help your readers. Then you offer to help them even more and lead them into programs that are more profitable for you. However, the issue is that most authors don't know how to strategically plan the business before the book. Most authors write the book they want to write and hope there's a market for it. This is why lots of businesses fail too. They don't lay the foundations properly. They don't plan the process. Just look at how the numbers play out. What does it take to make 100,000? To make 100,000 in sales, it takes at an average royalty, you'd have to sell like 90,000 books. But you can only have to sell about 200 $500 training programs, okay? Or only 50 sales of advanced trainings of around $2,000. And when you get to a point where you can offer people a $10,000 program, now you only need 10 sales to make that same revenue. And by the way, once you've established your authority and start working at this higher level, you're working with you've got a better relationship with your clients, and you're generally able to get better results with them as well. So how much easier is it to sell 50 of something than 89,000? Use your book as a tool and not the product itself. And this applies for a variety of businesses, services, and programs. It applies to coaching, services, speaking, consulting, and more. So let's go behind the scenes. I want you to see how this works in real practice, how I've used it in real life. I wrote the book Bestseller Success. I offered free copies on Facebook and collected emails. I sent an invitation to a few of them to come to a workshop where just 12 people showed up. At that workshop, I talked to them about their marketing problems, and I closed over $60,000 in new business from a very simple campaign. Can I do that again? Of course I can. In fact, I could put it on an autopilot. I could set up ads to my target market, and I could invite them to workshops online even. I could just run those workshops online and offer them a program. So let me take you through an example, how to be a highly paid speaker or consultant. I wrote this little book, Your $1 Million Message, and I was specifically targeting speakers, trainers, and consultants, right? So I marketed it to my target audience because I knew who they were, and I created over $100,000 in new business in just a few weeks. But then I went on to work with all those new clients and create another $250,000 plus from new programs that I created for that market, because as I got to know my clients, I got to know better what their problems were and how I could better help them. Here's another example, the Rocket Your Sales program. One of the things that I noticed was that my clients were having trouble with their salesmanship. So I invited a whole bunch of people from my mailing list to come to a webinar, an online presentation. 45 people attended. 20 of them bought the training series that I offered. They bought it as an early bird special for $550. Another 10 attendees bought it later for $997, and 15 attendees bought the advanced support and services where we actually help to write their sales scripts and help them work on their presentations and their marketing campaigns and their books. And that brought in another $85,000 in revenue, which was a total income. And even if this is not your, if you're having trouble processing the dollar amounts, basically, I just want you to get the concept that it's an ascension model. So you don't really need to spend a lot of money to make a lot of money with this system. So the total income was 11,000 plus 10,000 plus 85,000. Altogether, it equaled almost $116,000, and I continue to work with some of those clients to this day. So this might seem complex, but it's just basically comes down to this. You create a quality positioning book, like the ones I've shown you, a simple website so that you can capture their information and you can store your training programs if you're going to offer training programs. It's so great these days. Building websites has become so much less complicated than it used to be. An email sequence, so you just need as a way of continuing to build that relationship with them. So you're going to, get their information and then continue to email and communicate with them, and a program to sell. And that's the system right there, okay? So Karen Walsh got this. She started writing books that were for her target market. She's an international consultant and leadership expert, and she creates all these reports and sends them out to her target market, and is now running leadership and empowerment coaching programs internationally. Andrew Church, another one of our clients, gets this. He's a business leadership and executive consultant. He's using his books as lead magnets to get into buying conversations with high-level corporates because he's a corporate consultant. So here's a revenue example of using training and workshops. Once you've got established your expertise and your authority with your book, you can increase your speaking value by including your book. You can create manuals and training programs from your book. So if you think about it, your book has maybe a $20 value. Well, a manual has more like a $97 value. And a training program with the same information, maybe just articulated in a different way. You might expand that information or format it differently. Well, now you've added the value, you've taken the value up to about $500 to $5,000, depending on what you cover in your training program in your market. So these are advanced strategies. You could actually, once you've developed your training program, you could sell licenses to other trainers to use your training and intellectual property. So you've seen all of this in other people's businesses. Think about how this could relate to you and helping you build a nice, strong, manageable business. So here's the Ascension model in action. You start with your book. You add your offers, services, and products. Add promotions and giveaways so that you can start to expand your reach and get more exposure. Engage people on a more easily, and then you can add webinars, trainings, speaking, and have higher level conversations. You can start to add more and more elite services as you build trust and rapport and build your personal brand. Nicola Grace gets this. She's the mission mentor and speaker and executive consultant. She's earned over 50,000, I think over 100,000 now, in sales from her mentoring programs, using her books as a lead generating tool. So I promised you that I was going to give you my free gift, which was a copy of my best-selling book, Social Marketing Superstars. This has the top success strategies of 30 social business experts. To get your free copy, I just want you to go over to my website, bestsellersuccess.com/social marketing superstars with hyphens to get your book. Or you can also use bestsellersuccess.com/SMS-book. If you don't want to type out Social Marketing Superstars, but go and grab your copy, get these fantastic, and you'll see all these experts telling you about different variations on the theme that I am explaining to you here today. So just imagine for a moment how your business and life would change if you had iconic standing in your area of expertise. If you had the authority, trust, and credibility of being a best-selling author, and you had a profitable automated campaign running 24/7 all year long. If you had an automated campaign that just went out there and promoted you. If your book was published, promoted, and positioned so it created you a six-figure income stream, just imagine what that would do for you. And if you had the ultimate business card, can you imagine being able to say to people, here's a copy of my book when you have that first business meeting? It just lifts you, it elevates you as the authority instantly. Imagine if you got priority with influencers and the media because you are already an author, an expert in your field, and ideally a best-selling author. But you need to know how to write, publish, and promote the right book, how to set up the avalanche effect, how to discover the exact program or service your consumers want, and how to set it up on autopilot. And how to position it so that it sells itself. That's all the areas where I can help you. So I invite you to join us live. I would love for you to come and join us live at the Super Achievers Summit in Bengaluru, February 17th to 19th, the White Orchid venue. To find out more and to go and grab your tickets, just go to http://bit.ly/SAS event, which is the Super Achievers Summit event. So bit.ly/SAS event. And you can come and join us. It's going to be a fabulous event. There's going to be lots of speakers coming from all over the world to share their best success strategies with you. And I'm going to take you step by step through the system. So come and join us at the Super Achievers Summit. Can't wait to see you there. Come up and say hi to me. I'm Cydney O'Sullivan. To get your tickets, bit.ly/SAS event. And again, to get your copy of my free book, just go to, let's see if I can find that slide for you. I want you to have a copy of this book. You go to social marketing, to get your Social Marketing Superstars book, just go to bestsellersuccess.com/social-marketing-superstars or SMS-book. So thank you for joining us. I hope you got some great ideas. I hope I've inspired you to wanting to get your own book written. Can't wait to meet you at the event. Really hope you're going to be there. Thank you to all the organizers of the Super Achievers Summit for making me one of your mentors. Can't wait to be there. We're going to have so much fun. Thanks you all so much for being here. Reach out and say hi. And namaste.